Have you ever found yourself staring at your dinner plate and wondering, is this helping me or hurting me? As we get older, that question becomes more than just a passing thought. It becomes something we really start to feel in our bodies. Maybe it's the way our energy dips in the afternoon, or how our joints feel a little stiffer than they used to. Or maybe it's that quiet moment when the doctor says something like, your cholesterol's creeping up again. And suddenly, food doesn't just mean comfort or routine anymore. It means something deeper. It means longevity. It means independence. It means staying vibrant for the people we love and the things we still want to do. You see, food is more than just fuel. It's information for our bodies. Every bite we take tells our cells what to do, how to repair, how to fight off disease, how to keep our hearts beating strong and our brains sharp. That's why today, I want to share something that could change the way you look at your next meal. We're talking about 5 everyday foods that can actually add years to your life, and 3 that might be doing just the opposite. But don't worry, this isn't about complicated diets or giving up everything you enjoy. This is about small, powerful changes. Things you can start doing today, at your own pace, right in your own kitchen. And you don't need fancy ingredients or a chef's hat. Just a little knowledge, a little curiosity, and maybe a pinch of motivation. Let's start with something that's probably already in your pantry or fridge, but maybe not getting the credit it deserves. Beans. Yes, good old-fashioned beans. Black beans, lentils, chickpeas, navy beans, you name it. You might be surprised to hear that people in the longest living communities in the world eat beans every single day. These folks aren't hitting up protein bars or expensive supplements. They're eating hearty bowls of beans, often with rice, vegetables, and a bit of olive oil. So what makes beans so powerful? Well, first of all, they're packed with fiber. And fiber is like a broom for your digestive system. It keeps everything moving, which becomes more important as our metabolism slows down with age. But fiber also helps balance blood sugar, lower cholesterol, and keep us feeling full longer. And here's a bonus, beans are loaded with plant-based protein, which helps us maintain muscle mass, something we naturally lose as we age. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Beans don't always agree with me. And that's fair. But the trick is to start small. Maybe add a spoonful of lentils to your soup, or toss a few black beans into a salad. Let your body adjust. Over time, your gut gets stronger and handles them better. And your heart, your brain, and even your waistline will thank you. Now, let's move on to something even sweeter, literally. Berries. Whether it's blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, or blackberries, these little fruits pack a punch. They're like nature's candy, but instead of spiking your blood sugar, they actually help fight inflammation. And inflammation, as doctors will tell you, is at the root of almost every age-related disease, from heart problems to Alzheimer's. What makes berries so special is their deep color. That vibrant red or blue isn't just pretty, it's a sign of powerful antioxidants. These are the tiny defenders that roam through your body, protecting your cells from damage. Think of them as your internal cleanup crew. They mop up the mess that builds up over time, especially from stress, pollution, and yes, from less than ideal food choices. Here's a simple trick. Try keeping a bag of frozen berries in your freezer. They're just as nutritious as fresh ones and often more affordable. Throw them into your oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or just enjoy a handful as a snack. It's a small step, but it can do wonders over time. Now, speaking of small steps with big payoffs, let's talk about a third food that has been treasured for centuries, especially around the Mediterranean. I'm talking about olive oil. Not the cheap, processed kind, but real, extra virgin olive oil. The kind that tastes a little peppery at the back of your throat. That's a sign it's rich in polyphenol, those same plant compounds that protect your heart and fight inflammation. Here's what makes olive oil so amazing, especially for those of us in our 60s and beyond. It helps lower the bad kind of cholesterol, supports brain function, and even improves skin health. One study found that people who used olive oil as their main source of fat had significantly lower risks of heart disease and stroke, even into their 70s and 80s. That's not some gimmick. That's the power of real food. And using olive oil doesn't mean you have to learn new recipes or cook like an Italian chef. Just drizzle it over your salad instead of using bottled dressing. Cook your eggs in it. Sauté your vegetables with a splash. Every little bit counts, and over time, those small changes add up. You might notice something all three of these foods have in common: they're not processed. They don't come in shiny packages or have 20 ingredients you can't pronounce. They're simple, whole, real, and they work with your body, not against it. That's the beauty of aging wisely. We don't need to chase the latest trends, we just need to return to the foods that humans have thrived on for generations. Now that we've talked about beans, berries, and olive oil, let's keep this momentum going. There's another food, one you might already love, that deserves a place on your plate far more often. Our bodies can't make omega-3s on their own, which means we need to get them from the food we eat. And as we age, these healthy fats become even more important. They help keep our arteries flexible, reduce inflammation in the joints, support brain health, and may even lower the risk of memory-related diseases like Alzheimer's. Think of it this way: your brain is nearly 60% fat, and it needs the right kind to function properly. Omega-3s help keep your brain cells communicating smoothly, like oil in a well-tuned machine. People who regularly eat fatty fish tend to have better memory, sharper focus, and even fewer symptoms of depression, something that often goes unnoticed in older adults but can have a huge impact on quality of life. Now, I know not everyone grew up eating fish regularly. Some people even find the smell or texture off-putting. But there are gentle ways to ease it in. Try baking a fillet of salmon with a little olive oil and lemon, simple, flavorful, and no strong odors. Or add canned sardines to toast with a bit of avocado or tomato. It might surprise you how tasty and satisfying it can be. And if fish just isn't your thing at all, there are still ways to sneak in omega-3s. Ground flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts are great plant-based alternatives. They may not be quite as potent as fish, but they still offer powerful benefits. So far, we've talked about foods that support your heart, your digestion, your brain, and your overall vitality. These are the kinds of foods that don't just keep you alive, they help you live. Really live. With energy, clarity, and joy. But now, it's time we touch on the other side of the coin. Because just as there are foods that add years to your life, there are also foods that quietly, steadily chip away at it. Let's start with one that shows up on more plates than we like to admit: processed meats. I'm talking about sausages, bacon, hot dogs, deli meats, foods that are smoked, salted, or preserved in a way that keeps them on the shelf longer but doesn't do your body any favors. These meats are often loaded with sodium and nitrates, both of which have been linked to increased risk of heart disease and certain types of cancer. You might be thinking, but I've eaten bacon my whole life. And that's fair. A slice now and then won't break you. But it's the regular, long-term consumption that does the damage. These foods create low-level inflammation in the body, something you may not feel right away, but over time, it wears down your immune system, damages blood vessels, and raises your risk of chronic illness. If you love the flavor of these foods, try swapping them out with something better. Instead of bacon, try a slice of grilled turkey or even avocado on your toast. If sandwiches are your go-to lunch, opt for fresh roasted chicken or tuna instead of cold cuts. You're not giving something up, you're choosing something better for your future self. And here's the beautiful thing about this stage of life: we have the wisdom now. We've lived through the trends, the fads, the quick fixes. And we know deep down that the path to a long, vibrant life isn't about extremes, it's about steady, thoughtful choices. One meal at a time. So far, we've looked at 4 powerful foods that support a longer, healthier life: beans, berries, olive oil, and fatty fish, and we've just touched on one of the big culprits that can shorten it: processed meats. Let's keep this going. There's one more food that deserves a place on your plate if you want to stay strong, sharp, and independent well into your golden years. And that food is leafy greens. Simple, right? But don't let their simplicity fool you. Spinach, kale, collard greens, arugula. These vibrant veggies are like little green shields for your body. They're loaded with vitamins like K, C, and A, along with minerals like calcium and magnesium, all of which support everything from bone health to vision to immune strength. But here's the real secret: leafy greens are incredibly powerful for brain health. A study from Rush University found that older adults who ate just one serving of leafy greens a day had the cognitive abilities of someone 11 years younger. 11 years, just from a handful of greens on your plate. That's pretty incredible. And the best part? You don't have to eat a big bowl of salad every day if that's not your thing. You can throw a handful of spinach into a morning omelet, blend some kale into a smoothie, or sauté collard greens with a little garlic and olive oil for dinner. Even frozen greens work well in soups or stews. It's all about finding what works for you and folding it into the meals you already enjoy. Now, as we start to feel good about these powerful foods, beans, berries, olive oil, fatty fish, leafy greens, we also need to stay alert about the things that take away from all that hard work. So, let's talk about another major culprit that might be lurking in your daily routine: sugary drinks. This one's a sneaky one. It's easy to think a glass of juice, a flavored coffee, or a soda here and there is harmless, especially if the rest of your meals are pretty healthy. But these drinks flood your system with sugar, and your body, especially after 60, just isn't built to handle that kind of spike. Over time, those blood sugar surges increase your risk of diabetes, inflammation, and even cognitive decline. The tricky thing is, sugar doesn't just affect your waistline. It messes with your memory, your mood, and even your sleep. Many people don't realize that a sugary drink in the afternoon can actually disrupt sleep patterns later that night, leaving you tired and foggy the next day. And when we feel tired, we reach for more sugar, starting the cycle all over again. The good news? You don't need to give up flavor. Try sparkling water with a splash of lemon or a few frozen berries. Herbal teas are another great option, especially ones with calming ingredients like chamomile or mint. And if you're craving something sweet, try a smoothie made with real fruit, not fruit juice from a bottle. Your body will notice the difference. We're not aiming for perfection here. We're aiming for progress. Every time you choose water over soda, or add a vegetable instead of reaching for processed meat, you're moving the needle toward a longer, more vibrant life. And it's never too late to make that shift. Now, let's take a moment to breathe and really let this sink in. These aren't just food tips. They're invitations to take care of yourself in a deeper way, to give your body the support it needs to keep showing up for you every day. Because the truth is, your later years can be some of your most joyful, most active, most meaningful ones. But it starts with what you put on your plate. So far, we've explored 5 foods that truly nourish you from the inside out: beans, berries, olive oil, fatty fish, and leafy greens. And we've touched on 2 foods that can quietly steal that health away: processed meats and sugary drinks. There's just one more we need to talk about. One more common item that may be sabotaging your health without you even realizing it. And that final food we need to address is refined grains. I'm talking about white bread, white pasta, pastries, and most processed snacks. Now, I know they might be tempting and convenient, especially when you're in a hurry or just craving something familiar. But these foods, although comforting, don't offer much in the way of nutrition. In fact, they can do more harm than good, especially as we get older. Refined grains have been stripped of most of their nutrients during processing, leaving behind mostly starch. They spike your blood sugar levels quickly, causing a surge of energy followed by a crash that can leave you feeling sluggish or irritable. Over time, this constant up and down can lead to weight gain, an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, and even heart disease. But it's not just about avoiding white bread and pasta. It's about choosing better alternatives. Whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, oats, and whole wheat bread are packed with fiber, which helps keep your digestive system working well and supports your heart. These whole grains release sugar into your bloodstream more slowly, giving you sustained energy throughout the day without those annoying crashes. They're also full of vitamins and minerals that your body needs to stay strong and healthy. Making the switch to whole grains doesn't mean you have to give up your favorite foods. If you love pasta, try whole wheat pasta or spaghetti squash instead. If sandwiches are your thing, opt for whole grain bread or even lettuce wraps. And remember, it's not about being perfect. If you still enjoy a slice of white bread now and then, that's okay. Just balance it out with a healthier choice the next time. Now that we've gone through these foods, it's important to remind ourselves that aging is a journey, and it's one that we can approach with confidence. The foods we eat play a huge role in how we feel and how long we stay healthy. But it's not just about the food. It's about how we live. It's about making small choices every day that contribute to a greater sense of well-being. It's about taking care of our bodies, not with extreme diets or quick fixes, but with love and patience. Remember, small changes add up over time. It's not about making a drastic change all at once. It's about adding in more beans, more berries, more olive oil, more leafy greens, and more fatty fish, while reducing the processed meats, sugary drinks, refined grains, and all the other things that quietly undermine our health. Each meal, each snack, each choice is an opportunity to invest in your future. And trust me, your future self will thank you for it. So, as you move forward, try to think of food as your ally, not just something you eat out of habit or necessity. Food can be your medicine, your fuel, your source of energy, and with the right choices, it can even add years to your life. You've got this. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one food you love to eat that makes you feel good and energized? Or maybe you've made a small change recently that's had a big impact on your health. Share your experiences with us in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more tips on living your healthiest, happiest life. Here's to living your best life at any age. Keep thriving, keep choosing the foods that make you feel amazing, and remember, every step you take toward a healthier future is a step worth celebrating. Take care.